my knowledge. Then she passed the camera to her brother, who immediately hurried out. Later, I asked people to describe the photo shown on television. I was told that I had scarves around my neck. I realized immediately that it was the photo taken during the wedding. So this is what happened.
Shugden propagandists claimed that the Assembly of Tibetan People's Deputies passed a resolution against the appointment of Shugden practitioners to be Supreme Justice Commissioners in the exile administration. We asked the Vice Chairman of the Tibetan Assembly if this is true.
One assembly member said that Shugden followers should be disqualified from appointment as Supreme Justice Commissioners. But this was his personal opinion, which the assembly ignored. The assembly neither discussed this suggestion nor passed any resolution to the effect.
Shugden supporters wrote many letters to Amnesty International, claiming that His Holiness the Dalai Lama curtailed their human rights and religious freedom. Amnesty International sent this reply.
None of the material Amnesty International has received contains evidence of abuses which fall within Amnesty International's mandate for action. Amnesty International campaigns on the grave violations of human rights in Tibet.
A new organization called the International Coalition of Shugden Supporters held a meeting in New Delhi which brought together groups and individuals known to act against the interest of the Tibetan national cause. The meeting cast aspersions on His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Shugden activists circulated a memorandum purportedly signed by well-known international personalities and Indian ministers and asking His Holiness to withdraw his statement on the Shugden practice. It later transpired that the signatures were forgeries.
During His Holiness the Dalai Lama's visit to the United States in April 1998, a bulky document was submitted to him in the name of International Coalition of Shugden Supporters. It asked His Holiness the Dalai Lama to withdraw his statement on Shugden practice. One page had the names and what purported to be the signatures of several Indian ministers. It was obvious that the signatures were forgeries. We wanted to confirm this, so we met the ministers and asked if they had signed any letter addressed to His Holiness the Dalai Lama and expressing support for the International Coalition of Shugden Supporters. The ministers were shocked. They gave us written assurances that they had never signed such a letter. There were signatures of foreigners and Tibetans as well. We sent the document to forensic experts who confirmed that most of the signatures were by the same hand. So the claim of wide support made in this letter needs to be investigated. It became clear that they would like to deceive us into thinking that they enjoyed wide support.
Geshe Chimitsiring is the secretary of Dorjee Shugden Religious and Charitable Society in Delhi. In an interview with a reporter, Geshe Chimitsiring falsifies the circumstances under which monks of Shatsi College signed a letter guaranteeing to give up Shugden practice.
In April 1996, they came to Mangod to collect signatures. I was then in Mangod. Even the monks of Shatsi College were asked to sign an undertaking to give up Shugden practice. There was an ex-abbot, I will not name him here. This ex-abbot told his students that the Dalai Lama is our refuge, both in this and the next life. Similarly, Shugden is a qualified protector deity. Now you are called upon to sign your undertaking to give up Shugden practice. You should sign it while visualizing that you are signing an undertaking to continue the practice rather than give it up.
We asked the 3 surviving ex-abbots of Shatsi for confirmation of Chimitsiring's claim. Ex-abbot Chamba Yishi faxed us this reply from Malaysia to say that he had never made such a statement. Amcho Rinpoche, the then abbot of Gandhi Shatsi, recalls.
Yes, I was the abbot of Shatsi College at that time. I was present at the meeting. There was a lot of discussion, but I don't remember any abbot say such a thing.
I never told anyone that His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Shugden are both important. I never advised anyone to sign an undertaking to continue Shugden practice. I can swear by the Triple Gem that I never said such a thing. I have never deceived His Holiness the Dalai Lama and am determined not to do so in future. Kindly give this message to His Holiness.
It is clear that Geshe Chimitsring is trying to score victories by distorting reality. The late Tijang Rinpoche was junior tutor to His Holiness the Dalai Lama and practitioner of Shugden. Pabongka Rinpoche was one of Tijang Rinpoche's root teachers in pre-invasion Tibet. The teenage reincarnation of Tijang Rinpoche is now in Switzerland under the tutelage of Gonsa Tuku, a prominent Shugden practitioner and activist. Gonsa Rinpoche has created rumors of mythical threats to the young reincarnated tutor's life if he returns to India. So instead of undergoing intensive studies at his monastic university in South India, Tijang Rinpoche is now based at Gonsa Tuku's center in Switzerland. We asked Lati Rinpoche about his student Tijang Rinpoche.
In 1996, I went to Switzerland and taught Tijang Rinpoche for 3 months. I frequently urged him to come to India. Finally, he decided to come at Tibetan New Year in 1997. Then I went to the United States. On my way back to India, I stopped over in Switzerland and met Tijang Rinpoche again to repeat my request. He agreed to come. Shatse College also wrote requesting him to come. I did not get to write a letter, but I did give him a call. Tijang Rinpoche merely told me that he would get back to me later. He didn't say whether he was going to come or not. Nowadays, he says he will come, but doesn't specify when. I wonder what is preventing him from coming here.
Shugden supporters claim that the office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama does not pass on Tijang Rinpoche's letters to His Holiness.
There is no basis to the allegation that we held back from His Holiness letters written by the household of Tijang Rinpoche. I can also say with full conviction that members of Tijang Rinpoche's household have never been refused an audience. Regarding the talk of threats to Tijang Rinpoche's life, in September 1997, Nobu Chembe, who is an old attendant of Tijang Rinpoche household, came and said he had received a call from Tijang Rinpoche's 2 attendants in Switzerland, telling him that Tijang Rinpoche had initially planned to come for the spring teaching, but that they had received calls from India and elsewhere warning of danger to Tijang Rinpoche's life if he came to Dharamsala. The office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama sent a letter to request Tijang Rinpoche to come to Dharamsala as soon as possible and guaranteeing Rinpoche's security. The cabinet also wrote to Rinpoche requesting him not to miss the teachings and undertaking full responsibility for his security. Similarly, some disciples of the previous Tijang Rinpoche wrote requesting him to come to India and receive all the necessary spiritual teachings. They said they saw no danger to Rinpoche's life. Unfortunately, Rinpoche did not come.
Since Tijang Rinpoche's reincarnation is here in Switzerland, I expected to meet him here today. But that was not to be so. It saddens me a bit. As far as Rinpoche is concerned, about 2 years ago, I said I would do a doorbell divination and decide whether he should continue the Shugden practice or not. If Rinpoche has to continue the practice, I will make this an exception. However, if others want to consider Shugden very important, then I request them not to take initiations and spiritual vows from me. Since this has to do with the purity of the spiritual bond between teacher and disciple, I request Shugden followers not to receive initiation and vows from me. Instead, they should follow their own ways and practice without having anything to do with me.
Shugden is a ghost.